Hey, what's going on, Beowulf Nation? I'm Beowulf, back at it with another video. Woo! This isn't gonna be no jet ski video today. This is gonna be a video all talking about the Durango SRT. That is the fastest SUV that Dodge makes. That has the Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT engine, the 6.4 liter that is put in the Dodge Charger, the Dodge Challenger, the Jeep SRT, and the Durango SRT. So the story gets, this is unbelievable. So my dad, so if you look back a couple years ago of videos, right when the Durango SRT came out in 2018, my God, a 12.7, even faster. My dad picked up one, and it kind of got sold him is because of me having at the time, I don't want one anymore, but I had a 2016 Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT Night Edition. And I really liked that car. I was like, oh man, you gotta get the Durango. He was leaving out of owning a GMC Yukon XL, so this is this giant SUV. And I'm like, man, you'd be really happy with this. So the one he got was, or he still has it, so it's white with the red interior. We did videos early on, like I think we were the first, I was the first person on YouTube doing videos with the Durango SRT, like right when he got it. And I forgot what, you gotta check back at the video. It was really cold out, but we got a faster time, quarter-mile time than what they recorded. But basically he got it where he pulls his boat every once in a while, doesn't pull anything else, and he just wants to have a nice, fun vehicle to commute to work and whatnot. So, and again too, let's get all this, it's bone stock, it's never been modified. So this is kind of a little scary of this happening. So I'd like to see in the comments if you own a Durango SRT, let me know if you've had this issue or be aware of this happening and you're gonna have a long period of time with your vehicle not working. So he had, let's see, this has to be, took 2.5 months to get it fixed, to actually find a part to fix it. But he started having some, he called me, he's like, oh, I'm in these issues and the vehicle's not accelerating. And he was leaving, coming home from work. Then he brought it to a dealer and it took some time for him to look at it, said the transmission failed. Now all during this, I just a couple of months ago, it has to be like 4 months ago, I sold my Jeep Grand Cherokee. Now, before he had this issue, I kept telling my dad, I'm like, Dad, there's a huge shortage of parts right now with FCA. And like, for example, the suspension that's shared between the Durango SRT and the Jeep SRT, I think they've been out of stock for like 12 months or something like that. So if you shock one out, there's no aftermarket ones where you're dead in the water and you're not able to drive your SUV. It's kind of scary. And that's partly why I sold mine. But like right before my extended warranty ended on my Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT, I was doing some regular maintenance myself. And just like a couple weeks before there, I was at the dealer getting some, and they didn't pick up seeing. I was underneath my Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT. I saw it was had dripping leakage coming from the transmission. Brought it to dealer, all the seals main seals for the transmission were leaking on mine. Luckily, it was covered under warranty right before my extended warranty ended. And so the crazy thing with his transmission failing, it had no leak. It just stopped. So it's sitting at the dealer, and they kept dragging him on, like, "Oh, we'll get an answer soon." And I told him, I'm like, "Man, you are not getting this Durango SRT back for a long period of time." And I think my dad at first didn't believe me. Well, boom, they go, "We can't find a transmission." Then a couple of weeks pass. They go, "I think we found one in Puerto Rico." So it's kind of crazy, the whole United States, that there's only, I'm picking up two figures, it should be one, only one transmission that's part of the United States, but an island. And then they turned around and said, "Well, that's not available." So there was no transmissions anywhere. So imagine having an SUV, what are they, like about $70,000, $80,000 SUV with no transmissions anywhere. So like, almost like, why would you buy one of those new if you can't even find one to replace it? And then the hard thing is it's under warranty. Now a lot of people in the comments will be like, "Well, he could get it rebuilt or do this or do that." But when you have a warranty, it's not how that works. If he had no warranty, that's exactly what I would do, is bring it to a place that can rebuild transmission and rebuild his stock one and get him right back on the road really fast. The problem with warranty, it doesn't always work like that. You're the mercy of whatever dealer you go to, whatever is gonna happen. So, this is just crazy. So he's just stuck, week after week, no answers. I told him, I said, "Man, you gotta call corporate and figure out what's going on, because after a certain period of time, there should be a lemon law." Well, flip side, the lemon law only works like a vehicle right when you first buy it, not a vehicle you've owned for a couple of years. So there was not much to be done with that. He did call them. They're like, "Oh, we'll try to source one." Then they said they found one and didn't find one. And somehow, magically, they did find one and got it fixed, put back in his Durango. Now, all this is during the winter in the Midwest. So you got to think the Chicagoland area is where he's from. This vehicle is just sitting outside in the cold, half apart, right? And finally, after 2.5 months, he gets the vehicle back. And then once he gets it back, it has all these scratches all over it where they chipped the paint everywhere. So the vehicle didn't have that when it came in there, and then it got wrecked. The nice thing is he called, complained, and they luckily fixed the paint on it and things good as new. But it definitely makes you wonder and this could be any vehicle. I'm not calling out just the Durango SRT, and this could happen with anybody, that there's a huge shortage of parts, not just automotive, but you have, any industry right now is a huge shortage. Right now they got the microchips where they just stopped production of all the Ford F-150s, VW, Porsche, they've all stopped production. You have Chevy that shut down everything in their whole, GM, General Motors, just behind the Ford, there's a bunch of vehicles that they don't even have parts to build cars anymore. And it's kind of scary is, say you pre-ordered a vehicle and then they stop production, and then you got a lot of these dealers, waiting for new vehicles that they don't know what's going on. So basically, in a nutshell, what I did is that I was more intelligent with my vehicle, knowing there was a shortage. I picked up 2 Ford Crown Victoria police interceptors, which there has to be just tons of stuff out there for it, right? So something goes wrong. And with me doing a lot of jet ski videos, and I have 4 dogs, both of them have the canine gauges in it. It's built for my lifestyle. It's not for everybody. If I had kids, it's not going to work. There's no back seats. It's made for dogs. It wouldn't work in those vehicles. So my situation is not the same as somebody else's. Again, the Durango SRT might not be for everybody or in your budget. But I figured to share this because definitely if you own one of these, I'm not telling anybody to go out and be like, "Hey, it's time to sell it." But definitely think about it. If something breaks, be prepared if you don't have a second car. He was lucky that dealer that they had a loaner. He didn't get that great of a car loaner, but he had something. But there was a period of time, I think he had no loaner. So he had to get somebody to drive him to work and stuff like that. So it's just stuff to think about. You buy a new vehicle and you think it's gonna last. And when all this transmission went out, the car only had 36,000 miles, bone stock. it's kind of frustrating that somebody buys a vehicle like that, and you know, it's one thing if we'd say, well, he had this put done to it, modified this, and hey, oh, something broke, we're crying. It's stock. I mean, how the heck does something like that, you're buying a performance vehicle, you figure the transmission's built to be doing what it's supposed to do. But again, I've heard stuff, rumors too, what people who bought the Jeep Grand Cherokee, not the SRT, but the Trackhawk that has the Hellcat engine in it, 6.2 liter supercharged engine, they're having, I think it's the transfer cases exploding on those, falling apart. And yeah, it's kind of like upsetting with seeing this, but you know, put in the comments, has this happened to you? I know before, earlier on, the first couple of years when I had my Jeep Grand Cherokee, I had issues with the paddle shifters. If you shifted it with that, sometimes when you upshift, it would actually, that paddle that should go up a gear was going down a gear, and I stopped driving around ever with the paddle shifters because I'm thinking, man, this is a good way to wreck it. So I had a little transmission issues with that. I remember calling the dealer I bought it from, and they didn't even care. They're like, hey, it's not our problem. And it's just one of those things that, like, luckily the dealer fixed it. It took a long time. They found a transmission, which is amazing. I told them there was a chance it could have been 6 months. He could have been driving this vehicle. And that's just kind of upsetting is, you know, you have your vehicle, you want to just drive, you want to use it. So not much more to talk all about this, but he's all working. And it's funny because he was telling me the story. I think he was at Costco. He told me this young guy comes up and starts freaking out seeing he had a Durango SRT. And my dad's like, oh, it's a great car. And I'm like, this is after you got it fixed. And I said to my dad, and the guy was saying how he wants to really get one. And I told my dad, I said, would you tell him that you had all these issues? And he's like, no, I don't want to upset the guy. So I'm not trying to upset anybody myself too. It's like, hey, if you really have you devoted, this is what you want, go ahead and get it. But again, remember, if, you know, like your warranty ends and everything starts falling apart. It's kind of crazy. And my mom was funny. She told me, she was trying to tell my dad to tell the guy if he wanted to buy it from her. My dad's like, we seemed like you wanted a new one. I just thought it's kind of funny to share that. But if you're new to the channel, I'm Beowulf. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Existing subscribers, hit the bell notification, get notified as soon as the video is uploaded. Also, too, I have an Amazon store at amazon.com/shop/IamBeowulf. Check that out. I also, too, have a merch store at IamBeowulf.com. Hottest jet ski merch on the internet. Check it out. Be driven to win, be mighty, and stay strong.